Perfect thing to do on a summer's evening. Well, hopefully you'll enjoy the evening. We've got a fantastic show tonight. We've got Lizzie Shirley, very rousing and radical singer-songwriter. Fine poetry from Penny Faulkner, P.R. Murray, also from myself, Patric Cunnane. Just to say, if you haven't been to the Poetry Cafe before, you've probably found the toilets by now, they're at the back there. The show is in two halves of about 40 minutes each. There'll be about a 20-minute interval, and the show should finish around 10 o'clock. So that's about everything you need to know, and I'm going to start the evening with a few poems, surprisingly. The art form that, for me anyway, is closest to poetry, where I get my inspiration from, I suppose, is painting and sculpture. And so I'm going to start with a few poems about painters and their work. And the first one is called Studio. It's about Vincent van Gogh, and one of his letters to his brother Theo, he wrote, "I love my studio the way a sailor loves his ship." And in fact he did have his studio created, so it was like being in the interior of a ship. Paint drying on canvas, future fortune in daubs, light in place. Studio built so painter walks the plank, creating images to perplex peers, amaze the future. He loved his studio the way a sailor loves his ship, left us blinking at horizons, swimming toward perspective. And this is called Michelangelo, who is more a sculptor, of course, than a painter, but he said something interesting about his art. He said that I can see the statue in the marble before I begin work. I share a birthday with Michelangelo, although I have to say I'm not a contemporary. But, I wanted to write something for my birthday peer. He sees the statue in the marble, the figure taking form, yearning to be freed. He feels the muscles flexing, lungs imbibing air, hair growing on its scalp, genitals, calves, proud sternum, emerging from stone to the truth of a being. He hears the curl of words as they escape into a poem. He looks up, nods in the poet's direction. I'm sure you know Michelangelo did write poetry as well. The last in this little section is dedicated to Rothko. I was at an Open University summer school, and we were sitting around looking at the Seagram murals, those great slabs of red he painted for the Four Seasons restaurant in New York, and which ended up in the Tate. And one of the women in the group said, "Wouldn't it be fantastic if everything in the world was red?" And I thought, oh, poem alert. So this is poem to be read aloud. Imagine if the world was like this. You step out of bed in your red nightshirt onto your red carpet. You wash your red hands with red soap in the red sink, dry on a red towel. Brush your red teeth with a red brush. Eat ready bread with red milk. Drink red coffee. Put on a red shirt. Drive in your red car to the red factory where they make red things. Day's end you drink red beer in the Red Lion. Eat takeaway from red china. Make love to a red woman who is well read, red hot and well ready. You fall asleep in her red hair. Dream red dreams about red buses, where red buses pick up red passengers, paying their fares in reddies. Imagine if the world was like this, red all about it. My family come from Ireland, and still in the Irish countryside, we get rural dances like the one described in this poem, where everyone from 16 to 60 goes along to the local village hall or whatever, and There's no chance to be a wallflower. If you try and sit in the corner nursing a pint of Guinness, someone will just come up to you and drag you into the dance. So this is dancing at Tullamore. You lift me two-handed into the music, slip your teenage arms into mine. Come on, you say. Through your rose-pink blouse I feel the warmth of you, your moistness from dancing. You shake your dark hair, raise our hands in arrow formation. My left hand dwarfs your right. I tell you, you've picked the clumsiest dancer in Tullamore. Scream if I tread on your toes. Ah, go on, you laugh, and spin me round the floor. Arms length, head back, eyes sparkling. I begin to see that this is what enjoyment is like. This is where movement begins, words end. I watch you trip back to your boyfriend, pick up your drink. He puts two arms around you. You lean into the smoke, listening, whispering. Duty done, an old man made happier. Dancing, dancing, dancing. Dancing, dancing, dancing. Dancing, dancing, dancing. Dancing with you at Tullamore. I'm not quite sure why I wrote this next poem. All I can really tell you about it is that it's my first trout poem. This is my first trout poem, not perhaps a long one. This is because my knowledge of trout is severely limited. I sometimes eat rainbow trout, but I'm not familiar with their natural habitat. This is because I live by a railway siding many miles from fresh water. Still, trout have been familiar with my small kitchen. Their gutted spines and pop-eyed heads have added resonance to my dustbin. I've placed trout alongside croquet potatoes, red cabbage, sweet corn. I've pitied trout in the pan, wondered to what purpose were they born. This is my first trout poem. I'm hoping to keep one as a pet. It can live in the bath and once a month I'll take it to the vet. Oh, I wish I were a trout, leaping in the river, not a frozen trout in Sainsbury's, competing for attention with sausages and liver. Thank you very much. It's supposed to be summer, so this is a poem about something that used to be a feature of every child's summer. I was listening to the radio and a woman was recalling how when she grew up in Blackpool as a child, she used to go for donkey rides on the beach, and at the end of the day she used to say to her father, "Where do the donkeys go in the evening?" I thought that was a very good question, it deserved an answer, so I thought I'd try to answer it by writing a poem called "Where do the donkeys go in the evening?" Where do donkeys go in the evening, when the time of sands runs out? Have they homes in the hills and meadow banks, beside rivers teeming with trout? When the beaches are deserted, do these humble beasts secretly gather, complain of being sat on by humans, whose heels cut in like a dagger? And do one or two stand out, say, "Comrades, we must organise, since the Bible made us popular. We've led nothing but troubled lives. It was all the fault of that Jesus, spending Easter in Jerusalem. He may be God to the humans, to us he was just one more bum. But it's business as usual tomorrow, among the deck chairs and lollipops, where children gain childhood memories to the rhythm of shuffled clip-clops. Where donkeys go in the evening may come as a major surprise. Don't be fooled by their ridiculous ears. Revolution brews behind those soft eyes. Hee-haw, hee-haw. Thank you very much. I meant to say at the beginning, by the way, that each of the acts you'll see, or the performance you see in the first half, will come back in the second half as well. And the first of our guests tonight is Penny Faulkner. I met Penny for the first time last few weeks ago at an open mic afternoon here at the Poetry Cafe, and I was very impressed by what I heard. She's part of the Southwark Stanza Group. Stanza groups are organised through the Poetry Society all over the country. And she grew up in the West Country and lived in Edinburgh for 10 years before moving to London in 2011, so we're fortunate to have her here tonight. Her work has been published in the Alden Tree and V, New Writing from Edinburgh. But now you're able to hear Penny for yourself, because here she is. Give her a big Dodo welcome to Penny, her first time at Dodo Modern Poets.
Sort of feel under pressure now to have poems with donkey noises about fish, but I haven't got any of those.